Just when you thought the Democrats couldn't find a way to lower their approval rating, the governor of Illinois and the mayor of Boston, Massachusetts were able to both do the same thing simultaneously on the same day. Let's get into it. But definitely try to hit the like button for me on your way in.
Well, the Democratic governor of Illinois, J.B. Pritzker, signing a new law that expands student financial aid access to illegal immigrants. It claims to create equitable eligibility for benefits, but critics point to the growing burden on taxpayers. Mike Tobin is in Chicago. He's got more. Hi, Mike.
Hi there. And putting a lot of effort into branding himself as the anti-Trump, Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker doubled down on throwing state resources behind illegal immigrants. He signed a new bill into law that makes it easier for people, regardless of their legal status, to get scholarships, awards, and grants. Now, Illinois already had the RISE Act, which was passed in 2019. The new bill just standardizes eligibility across all the aid programs to broaden the eligibility for students. Proponents say this will strengthen the workforce and keep talent in the state. Critics point to soaring costs in Illinois. The state is projected to spend some $2.5 billion on migrants by the end of the year, most of that on health care.
The big problem is that when an illegal immigrant gets access to that funding, then it's probably closing out the opportunity for another kid from Illinois who's actually a long-term resident. President Trump has done a great job of closing the border, and yet Governor Pritzker is doubling down on taking care of illegal immigrants.
Now, the law takes effect at the beginning of the year. 18 states total and D.C. have similar measures in place. We asked the Governor Pritzker's office for comment on this legislation. And as we often hear from Pritzker's office, one-word response: no. Dana, back to you.
All right, Mike Tobin, thank you so much. Appreciate it.
It's horrible that he is using state funds for illegal immigrants instead of using it for American citizens. This is just outrageous.
Last week, Boston received a letter from the Attorney General of the United States threatening to prosecute city officials and withhold federal funds unless we cooperate with carrying out mass deportations. Here is our response. Stop attacking our cities to hide your administration's failures.
Moments ago, Boston Mayor Michelle Wu defined the DOJ as it tries to force sanctuary cities to comply with its immigration crackdown. Clay Travis joins us now. It's good to have you. She even had a mariachi band on her hand in order to give a little lift to it. We can maybe show a little bit of that. But one thing I would say about her, Clay, is that she has her convictions. She doesn't sway from them, even when you have all of these people who have been arrested right there in her city.
I mean, can we pause and just watch the mariachi band there in a minute? Because look at this. This is what Democrats are dealing with. More than anything else, they're just huge dorks. I mean, every single public event they have, does it seem like a place that you would want to be? Now, they're wrong on all policies, but they're also wrong on all messaging. And look, here is the problem. As Bill knows better than anybody, because he spent more time covering the border when nobody would, Joe Biden let over 10 million illegals in 4 years. Now the Trump administration is trying to clean up that mess, and somehow Mayor Wu and other Democrat officials like her are trying to suggest that it is the Trump administration that has caused this mess. It is not. They are trying to fix the mess that Joe Biden created. And I think it's awful politics for them to be standing up aggressively in favor of illegal immigrants when so many of their constituents want there to be a lot of other things addressed. And I think it ties in with President Trump going after the crime issues in Washington, D.C., which I think could be an incredible opportunity to focus going forward on not just Washington, D.C., but potentially other cities. Because if you drive down the crime rate in Washington, D.C., why wouldn't those same policies work elsewhere? I think it's a tough position to be in favor of illegals and against Trump trying to drive down violent crime.
Clay, I've done ride-alongs with ICE in Boston, I think like 3 or 4 times now. And every single time, within a matter of hours, every morning, within a few hours, we end up arresting like 3 or 4 child rapists who are released into the community with ICE detainers ignored, all in the Boston area. Like, what motivation is there for these sanctuary politicians to want to protect those people? Is it just to give the finger to Trump? Because I don't get it.
Yeah. I think that's unfortunately the reality, Bill. And I think that Democrats have found themselves for so long now, nearly a decade, in reflexively opposing everything that Trump is in favor of. And in the process, they're actually painting themselves into a corner where the vast majority of Americans, Democrats, Republicans, independents, line up and say, hey, you know what? This is just good old-fashioned common sense. I mean, you got MS. And by the way, it's not just Democrats. It's also the legacy media, which has typically been their allies. Look, right now, 2/3 of every person out there watching the news is watching us on Fox News. Nobody's watching CNN. Nobody's watching MSNBC because they aren't advocating for basic common sense. Heck, that story you guys just had. What are we talking about when we have locker rooms in high schools where people different than the gender are going in there and taking videos, and the people who call it out are the bad guys or the bad gals? I mean, there's just a sense out there that the overall universe has collapsed when it comes to sanity. And Trump, I don't even think is particularly Republican in nature. I think he's just advocating for basic common sense.
Clay, I want to cover one other story with you. This is where Governor Newsom is taking heat for that illegal immigrant driver who had a driver's license and it caused that deadly crash. Watch here, DeSantis last night.
We got to get tougher on this nationally. You know, one of the frustrations we've had in Florida, we don't recognize illegal alien driver's license from any other state. California's done the opposite. They're inviting people to come to this country illegally. I think you're going to need the Congress to use the power of the purse and defund states like California that are sanctuary states and their similar cities, because we're trying to do the right thing, and yet we have to bear the costs from their misguided policies.
Quick comment on that, Clay.
Every community has someone who is dead, unfortunately, in America that should be alive because of illegal immigrants. This violent crime rate should be zero, whether it's Laken Riley or any other individuals like these. This should not be allowed to happen. There are far too many innocent people being killed by people who have no business being in this country.
All right, Clay Travis, thanks for being with us today, and we'll get you more mariachi band for you to listen to throughout your day. Thank you.
I appreciate that.
Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.